Hi there, Lindsay here, and today I'm going to make the wonderful white blender bread from the Trim Healthy Table Cookbook on page 242. This is my second attempt at this particular bread recipe, and I will flip you around and show you what that recipe looks like in the cookbook. So here we've got it, wonderful white blender bread, and it is a fuel pull, and this is what theirs looked like in the picture. Mine did not turn out this beautiful in my first attempt, because I have the Pyrex bread pans, which are the glass baking dish style ones that have a slight angle out to their sides instead of perfectly straight up and down or perpendicular sides. And they say in this particular recipe that if you don't use a straight sided pan, it will likely bubble out and over and create a mess. So this time around, instead of making an entire batch, I went ahead and cut the recipe down to 2/3 of a recipe. I've got it here in my oven, and it, you can see it's already starting to rise up a little bit. It's only been in there for about 8 minutes. I don't know if you can, the light might be hindering it. So the first time around that I made this particular recipe, it bubbled up and over and all over the bottom of my oven, which I should have sorted out myself just because it was so full in the pan whenever I first filled it. So this go around, I decided to do a 2/3 batch of this recipe, and I decided to put it on a baking sheet covered with parchment paper to mitigate the risk of mess this time around. This particular recipe is a fuel pull, and they have a good old peanut butter jelly sandwich on page 301, and I was just flipping through the book here, and I'm starving, and so I saw that and I was like, yes, I really want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I will have to wait until lunchtime. It's about 10 to 10 right now, so I will have to wait until lunch. But I'm really looking forward to doing this recipe again. I personally enjoyed it the first go around. It is a slight bit eggy because it does use a lot of egg whites, and that plus the oat fiber in the baking blend really didn't appeal to my husband. I personally found it fairly neutral and I enjoyed it. And if this is a viable option as a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for me, I am all about it. I will show you what this bread looks like whenever it comes out of the oven. Timer has gone off. It's been 40 minutes since we put this in the oven, and it does look like it has decided to climb over again. Let's take a It's not cake, baby, it's bread. So this is exactly what happened last time. But it happened, yeah, it happened way more prolifically the first go around. Hot. But, yes, it's very hot. Step back. So it's still looking a little bit, yeah, it's still very wet right here. So I'm gonna leave this in here for probably another 7 minutes or so, and then see what happens. So clearly I need to invest in a different type of pan to make this bread recipe not spill over. I just have been using what I've got. Maybe if I did a half of a batch instead of a 2/3 batch, then it wouldn't bubble over. But the remainder of the bread, the outside of it looks nice and golden, and the top looks nice aside from the portion that has bubbled over. And so we shall see. All right, so I've pulled my wonderful white blender bread out of the oven, and it's gloriously browned on top and all around the sides. I've got a baby in my arms, so forgive me. And this zone has baked completely. I need to shut off my oven here. It is 10:38. Around 11 o'clock, I'll pull this out of the pan and let it continue to cool. So my bread has cooled for about 25 minutes or so. And I am going to, it's deflated quite a lot, for sure. It's very dense now. It's kind of smiling at me now. I'm going to try to get this out of the pan as best as I can without damaging this, and then I will show you what it looks like. So this came out very nicely. I just used my serrated knife there to slice this away from the pan itself. I've still got a little bit of mess here. And then this right here is totally done. This is like the shape of a biscuit here. In fact, I think I might give this part a taste test with a little bit of butter. So I've cut that piece up. Here's what the texture looks like. It's a little bit wet, but in the refrigerator it kind of sets up a little bit more. I have smeared some butter all over this, and let's give it a little taste. I feel like it tastes less eggy this go around. It's very soft, which I like. The crust on the outside is a little more eggy than the interior piece of the bread. I really enjoy this. I'm not so sure how much I'm gonna get slices out of this particular loaf with it having sort of flopped. And I do think I will be continuing to make this particular bread. So I might go ahead and invest in a better pan, or a better for this recipe style pan, because I really love peanut butter and jelly. And you can make so many things with this particular recipe, such as like they've got a French toast version, garlic bread, just various things. So I personally think this recipe is a winner if I can find the most appropriate pan to make this with. And now I'm really hungry. It's about 11:10. I'm gonna let this cool down a little bit more and probably have an early lunch. So thank you so much for watching and coming along with me as I baked the wonderful white blender bread. I think this one is worth trying out and worth trying to figure out your most preferred method and best results. So if you give it a try, let me know, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.